Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 94 today and we are back for the final two Premier League games of our second season in the top flight of English football. And it's Sheffield United and Leeds United who will be our opponents for today's games. Now, depending on who won the League Cup, Leeds could still be chasing Europe. Sheffield United are basically jostling for position with us. But unlike last year, we're comfortably safe and we're relaxed. We've thankfully managed to reach the 40-point mark with time to spare. Again, it looked like being a very difficult run-in. It looked like we were dropping off once we got to relative safety. But we have randomly just picked up against the top sides in the last few weeks. So if you're looking forward to what we might do today, and of course a very big summer ahead, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from two long-term stories. We had our summer transfer special yesterday in the head coach, and you can find that one up in the eye above. You can find links up there to the football podcast and the Twitch channel for regular content, and you can support the show down below if you wish by clicking the join button. But thank you very much for your support as always. As before we go and get into Hemel Hempstead and what's been happening here, and the excitement that's in the title, of course, which I haven't come to yet, I do want to look at the top of the table because in our other save, the head coach, there's been a few murmurings about points totals and competition and whatever else. Well, have a look at this. Liverpool, 91 points, 17 clear of Arsenal. There are not many good teams at the top of English football. It's a very strange situation we've encountered in both saves here, because this one, we've only got the English leagues loaded. It should be dominant. You can see if Mario Rickett is top goal scorer. Finally, are we edging away from the Ricky J. Jones reliance? I think so. The slight downside is we've got German Moreira suspended today. He's one of our wonder kids. But have we finally got our first superstar through the youth academy? Our intake came. It was actually rated as a pretty average one. Or the one below that, I think it was 2-star intake. But I don't mind if at this stage 15 of the players are crap. If we get one absolute star. And if I go and show you someone who, a little bit of a spoiler, has already been playing first team football, in our squad, we have a player called Ian Watts, 15 years of age. He is cracking. Not sure about the arrows making him worse. I wonder actually if we get his progress bar up. He's not moved at all, but obviously a lot coming very soon. He's made 5 substitute appearances. He's really decent already. 1.5 star ability, 4.5 potential. That's similar to where Ricker is and well past Ricky J. Jones. Maybe not quite got the burning pace, but got great technical attributes in the key areas and really good in terms of anticipation and composure. Just need to get him working off the ball a bit to try and edge him up. He's signed a professional deal already. He'll take that when he turns 17. I've got him in a mentoring group. We've got him working in so many different areas. And when it does click, this boy is going to be superb. And I'd imagine, as he is only 15, he will probably get better physically without having to develop much either. So that is a real exciting point in this save. We waited, 11 seasons for it. But we have finally got our first star through the intake. And what that tells you is the upgrades we continue to make off the pitch are going well and are helping this football club. So if we can start making money from another avenue, that would be fantastic. Still searching for a new stadium, which would bring in more. But now look at the facilities. Excellent training, exceptional academy coaching, good youth recruitment, adequate youth facilities. And that's why I've basically bumped him straight into the first team. No risk of him getting caught up in average facilities. So a really good moment for us, that one. There isn't really much of an update on the stadium. The only thing that we've got is potentially this summer getting some more news about it. Let's go and have a look at the schedule though for our recent performances, then crack on with our 2 games. So we have been, again in patchy form. We have a month where we're just awful, and then we grind a couple of results out of nowhere. I guess the surprises in this one are we were dropping points against Wolves, Palace, Bournemouth, and then beat Tottenham and drew with City. It's an incredible effort. So you were with me as we bowed out of the Cup quarter-final. The chance to get to Wembley disappeared. 6 games since then, we drew 2-2 at home to Wolves. Ricker and Panjovic scores the goals. We were actually down and out at half-time. We made the sub, brought on Panjovic. It's actually when Ricky J. Jones got injured too. Will Lancashire came on and got an assist. We really looked strong later on, which is something we've struggled with a lot this season. So pleased to see that turn around. That did unfortunately cost us 3 days later against Palace as a struggling squad fell in the last 15 minutes. We got battered by Arsenal in the second half, 3 goals in the last half an hour. A disappointing 2-2 draw against Bournemouth, who I'm pretty sure are getting relegated, are they? They are, yeah, they're relegated in 18th place. We drew 2-2 with them and do equalised in the second half. Ricker scored the opener and Kay Striker got an own goal. Thank you to Wapos for help with the pronunciation. But after a couple of defeats, it was just nice to get a point on the board, and that one basically did secure our safety. We then played with a bit more freedom. A 2-1 win away at Spurs, who themselves are scrapping for dear life for European football. It was a penalty from Danny Olmo to equalise for them, and then Cordes and McNeil score either side of that. Then a 1-1 draw at home to City. We almost held on. We scored with Cordes. We were brilliant till that point. We actually dominated Manchester City. But German Moreira got a stupid red card just before half-time, and we couldn't cling on. But a point from that position, I'd say, is a pretty excellent effort. So we head into these two games against Sheffield United and Leeds. A big end-of-season review after that. We just want to try and keep some momentum going. You saw how much we struggled at the start of this season, having lost 8 in a row at the end of last year. I don't want to go into it in bad form. So even if we can pick up a point in one of these two games, just keep the momentum going. And obviously try and boost those points totals as we move on to 42 with 2 games left. So a couple of players to close down. It's a battle between 2 similar bottom half sides. So let's go and pick our 11, try and make the changes we need, and I'll be back in a second to run through it. And this is what we've gone for. I'm prioritising real players, so Foyani is the one left out of the squad, with Ricky returning to the bench for the first time. We've also got Thornhill back from injury, lots of youngsters on the bench, and I'm generally trying to bring on the young to each game, which is Jose and Watts. We have had to push Striker out to right back for now. We've scouted another wonder kid centre-half who's a realistic signing. So I'm really thinking about the back three, possibly more than ever now, knowing that we've got to upgrade our wing-backs anyway, knowing that Danilo Jose is young enough to push on and learn that role. I really feel it could be a change for the future. It allows us to keep 2 up front. Bernal's probably going to go anyway, and we can just play with that sort of base of 5, and then maybe the rest of the front 5 as it is now. But that's a worry for the summer. We'll talk about it in the season review. Panjovic is the man who comes into the team to replace German Moreira. I think the rest of it's as you'd expect. We've got John Moore in goal, Striker and Arm in the fullbacks with Maya and Hannafan as centre-half. Bernal, Ndu, Panjovic and Cordes the midfield diamond. Ndu coming back to fitness has made a massive difference for us. And then Ricker, top goal scorer this season with 13, with Charlie McNeil alongside him up front. Let's go and get into the first of today's 2 games. Not the toughest ones on paper, but still, don't forget where we are. Any game in the Premier League is a hard one for Hemel Hempstead. So through to the first we go. Can we add to 42 points? Well, one familiar name from our head coach series in the Sheffield United side. Not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the manager, but Chris Mepham, a centre-half. Someone we managed at Palace in that save. Ronnie Edwards on the bench. Someone we managed in our Twitch save with Derby County. Link to that up in the eye above. And Leo Labada, the Celtic man in real life, is there too. As is Mateus, the right back that we had for 6 months and then sold for Norwich. Completely forgot about him. That shows how far we've come. We've still not got a right back to replace him, but we've got nothing to lose here. So let's go into it, see if we can get a result. We're back very early doors, as in the second minute, it's a throw-in for Sheffield United. They're looking comfortable in possession. Why on earth are we wearing red? Can someone please explain why they're wearing red and white stripes with red backs and we're wearing red? Come on, FM. Better than that, as it's out to Ricker on the right-hand side. To his right back, Striker. Inside to Bernal. And now Ndu to Panjovic. You can see some of the football we're playing is much better. We just need the clinical edge. As McNeil, forced to go from distance, his shot is up to the keeper's left. It's a good save to tip it round the post for a corner, which Cordes will take, out swinging, headed away at the back post. If we do lose Bernal in the summer, which is highly likely, I would like to get a sort of 6'3", 4" like we had with Egan player in to replace. As Ricker's in, header at the back post, he peeled off his man, smashes it against the woodwork. It's unfortunate that bounces down and not over the line. It stays 0-0, but we've started the better. And don't forget, we're worried about our players being on the beach. Sheffield United are in the same position, so who can come out on top? We're just over 10 minutes to the break. The stats are dominant in our favour. It's about 10 shots to 2 as Bernal goes over the top to Ricker, and we might have just got a reward for it. I've got to say, we didn't see the moment the ball was hit where Ricker was, but it looked offside when it panned to him. Is it going to be ruled out? No, he held his line brilliantly. And that's the thing Ricker's getting better at. He's playing on the shoulder. He's playing in that Ricky J. Jones role. And he's getting a bit quicker as well. So maybe he's got the chance to develop and become the superstar we wanted in Ricky. As it's up to the back post. Don't forget, he is nearly 30 now, Ricky J. Jones here. As Hernandez gets it on the left. Out to Asprilla on the edge of the box. Spread wide to Rodriguez. It would be typical of us to dominate, score the goal, and then concede immediately. As it's into the box, it's a stupid foul. Why do we keep giving away penalties? I've never seen a side give away so many as we do here. And it's not that we're doing anything different. Maybe it's just young defenders, lots of inexperience, but we can't keep giving them away because it's gifting teams a route back into it. Suarez up. Oh my words. He missed the goal by a mile. Into the crowd. Top of the bottom tier. And it stays 1-0 to Hemel. What's that? Oh my God, what is going on? We come back for a free kick on the edge of our own box. Thankfully, it's led to nothing yet, although it is still with Sheffield United. Out to the right to Rodriguez. I tell you what, there's a few defenders on the beach, aren't there? Asprilla in, Hannafan heads clear. It's out to Rodriguez on the edge. I'm not putting my hands from my head until this has been cleared, which I'm not sure it will. Asprilla misses just over the bar. Simple free kick by the byline. Firstly, why is the keeper not taking it from there? And secondly, he's just passed it to the centre forward. Maybe the lads in our team are struggling with the shirt clash as much as I am, because it is definitely a big kick clash. And evidenced by the fact that our centre halves are just passing the ball to their centre forwards. Having said that, despite a penalty, despite a couple of great chances we've gifted them, Sheffield United are yet to have a shot on target. And until that last 10 minutes where we conceded the pen, we were brilliant. We've got the lads motivated again, tried to build their confidence back up. I'm hoping they'll go back to normal in this second half. But I mean, looking at this, I can barely tell apart the players, so I can't expect my team to. As Blake gets it up to Adejo. Inside, they've got an extra man over here, Sheffield United. The right back's beaten. It's a good save from Moore. But the rebound is in from Luis Suarez. Not that one, but it's 1-1. And straight after half-time, the confidence will be crushed. And to be fair, based on the last 15 minutes, it was probably deserved. We've now got an injury to Panjkovic, who himself is covering in midfield. And it's a hamstring, so I'm not taking a risk. Christian Flores will come in for him in the middle. Good to see some of the older guards still getting a go. 10 minutes gone in the second period. We just need this to calm down. But it's Sheffield United, the host, playing out from the back with Mepham. Big ball up, which striker wins the header. There's the benefit of having a tall right back. Cordes turns inside. It's going to be forced wide though. Goes back to Bernal. He plays striker, the right back. Into Hannafan at centre half. Finds Ndu. Up to Cordes. We've got a 3-on-3 here. Into Marco Rica. Oh, it's a lovely finish. Mario Rica, sorry. I'm mixing him up with Cordes. He's having a really good second half of the year. He's settling into the country. He's learning the language. And he's becoming an absolute superstar striker. 2-1, deservedly so. At the hour mark, we'll think about some changes. So with a quarter of the game to go, we've obviously made one change already. I'm going to do my normal one up front in recent weeks, which is Charlie McNeil off, Ian Watts on. And then I'm going to bring on Danilo Jose. But this time I'm going to do it for Albi Armin at left back, who's not had the best match. So into the last quarter of the game we go. We're looking really confident. We're playing well. But can we make sure we get the result? That's the big thing. Converting in the last 15 minutes. And we've got panic stations again as it's a Sheffield United corner kick. Mepham heads just over via the crossbar. I might experiment actually as we go into the last 10. Just dropping the mentality to cautious. Because where we've stayed balanced, we've generally conceded so many late goals. But it is another Sheffield United corner headed over at the front post. It would suggest we're giving up territory because the hosts are getting a ton of corners. And they're now getting a free kick too as Danilo Jose trips his man. Delivered into the box. De Calitari's not marked properly. Back to the edge. Smashes the woodwork. Moore puts it out for a throw. He won't be thanking Striker for that ball back. But we are clinging on with young players here. And we're basically carrying a 15-year-old up front. Just so he can get some football. This is out to Rodriguez on the left. Back inside, it's all Sheffield United, but will this approach work? That's the big question here, as Aaron into King, Suarez, Hannafan nicks it, Moore clears long, even the strikers aren't up there now. 5 minutes added on, I'm going to change the fullbacks to defensive duties. I know the game's not that important in the context of things, but I want to get results here. So we're going to go defensive with the two fullbacks, we're going to go time wasting with the instructions, and we're going to slow it down when the goalkeeper gets it. 4 minutes to cling on. So Sheffield United corner We all know what's coming. Back post headed away by Hanifan. Only as far as King. Completely unmarked in the box. Ketelari. Cuts back to King again. Blocked. Second one in. Of course it is. Of course we can't hang on for a lead in the Premier League. Why would I think in stoppage time we might be able to hang on? Why would I think in the last 15 minutes we're not just going to be sat in our own penalty area? We might as well have put it on very defensive, but still, it's a point. It's a decent performance. But we have got to get better at seeing out games. I might even go the Arsenal approach in real life. Train a back three tactic just to do that. Take off, say, a Ricker or a McNeil or a Cordes. Bring on another centre-half and really try and shore things up. I think that's something we have to consider next season, because we're throwing away an awful lot of points in the last 5 minutes of games. Regardless though, we move on to 43 points. We largely dominate an average Premier League team away from home. And we've got Leeds on the final day, who might still be chasing Europe. We'll be back in a minute to see how we can finish. Well, we were talking about it earlier in the episode, so right on cue, training facilities upgraded. They are now superb, so we are edging towards elite club status. We just need that stadium and another youth upgrade, and we're virtually Premier League competitive. Now let's have a look at the fitness test for today, because we had some slight knocks in the week. Ian Watts, Panjkovic both had little hamstring knocks, one from the game, one from training, and everyone else is just about there. So I don't think we're going to need to make any changes for this. Moreira's had his ban extended. It was a shocking tackle against City. But I think everyone else is fit, apart from Bernal. That's a little bit odd. So I'm going to bring in either Kaplan or O'Brien. We'll go Kaplan, because he's the younger man, and it doesn't matter today. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to start Ian Watts. And I know that's silly, and it might lose us the points, but what an opportunity to do so. In midfield, I will play Flores instead of Panjkovic, just because I want people who aren't going to break down. And then Burnout will drop out for Neskovic. That's our 11. That's our 18. In come Watts, Kaplan and Flores. And don't worry about who's going out, because this is a massive moment for our 15-year-old youth intake start. So into the final game of the season, a Premier League start for a Hemel Hempstead youth graduate. 4 changes for our visitors today. They've got Ben White back, albeit well into his 30s now. But what a moment we've got here. It might well cost us a game, but I don't regret it. We have got a youth intake star, and we are determined to make him a success. Into it we go, Hemel v Leeds. Can we finish the season with at least a point? Well, not a good start. Cordes has picked up a knee ligament injury in the first few minutes. My options are to bring on Panjkovic or to bring on McNeil, and given the fact that we've had hamstring troubles in the week, I'm going to opt safe, go for the fully fit Charlie McNeil. It's been a pretty poor first 20 minutes actually. Maybe this is going to be the end of season drab affair that you so often see, as Gordon gets the ball on the left to Noble. Back to Diaz. It's a great effort, and Moore saves up to his left. Wonderful stop from the keeper. And he's had another solid season despite the odd mistake on camera. He is still one of the best players at the club rating wise. Corner goes over the bar. It's comfortably dealt with. With 25 gone, Leeds are currently in 7th place. So they are playing for Europe today. This is a big game for them. And we've got another injury. What's going on back here? I don't even know what to do now. I'm going to have to go Panjkovic. And it's a good job we started Watts, because we're not going to be able to bring him on, or wouldn't have been able to with the amount of injuries we're picking up. But we don't want anything serious now that's going to harm next year. A striker gets the ball from a Hanifan header, tries to play over the top. I saw the idea, it didn't quite work out, as Leeds play long towards Hanifan, who heads away, and Do picks it up. Been such a crucial signing this year, as it's headed away as far as Kaplan, up to McNeil. Here's Ndu again. Some nice football in there. McNeil playing in that deeper role, finds Kaplan. Hanifan wide to striker, really good, comfortable on the ball, but Leeds are pressing us high, and I do worry there might be a mistake in there. And Do just needs to find the ball in, plays Ricker, McNeil, up to Ricker again, great touch to beat the defender, goes in alone. That is super. Ricker is the best player in training every week. He's now becoming the best player on the pitch every week. He is starting to look like a real star. Don't forget, less than 3 million quid for this guy. And if we can get that composure up, if we can just edge a bit more pace out of him, we might have a world beater up there. We're back at left back with Albi Armin late on in the first half. We're into stoppage time. Don't want to do anything silly. Leeds have actually dominated the stats. We've only had 1 shot on target. They've had 11 shots. But we are 1-0 up, and that's all that matters, as Armin tries to release Watts. I will say, and I'll concede this, he doesn't look ready to play at this level yet. But if we can get him some football, I think it's better than him going out on loan. As Ndu releases McNeil. Oh, it's a stunning move. The pace on the counter is phenomenal. But that one's just wide of the post. At half-time, it remains 1-0 to Hemel Hempstead. And if you look at the stats, by no means do we deserve it. But that doesn't matter. We deserve to beat Sheffield United and didn't. This one, even with the injuries, can we hold on a little longer? As we're back with Ndu, 6 minutes into the second half. Kaplan gets it to him again. Not done badly, the substitute. I'm tempted to actually make that change today I was talking about. Take off Watts a bit later on after his run out. Maybe bring on a defender and go to a back five and just see if we can see out the game. As here is Maya to Panjovic, to McNeil. And if it goes disastrously, of course, we'll know not to do it next year. As Watts, wide to the left back arm in. That's good play, actually. Finds Panjovic. We're dominant on the ball. Much better than the first half. McNeil to Ricker. He's always finding space. And my word, does he love the dink finish. Mario Ricker doubles his tally. It's 2-0 Hemel Hempstead Town. And I hate to say it, this could be the end of an era for Ricky J. Jones because he either has to come in and play the poacher role now or he has to sit on the bench and play second fiddle to Ricker. Not a bad state to be in, but we finally got an upgrade as Diaz puts the corner in for Leeds, free header. And that's where we miss the Scott Egans of the world. It's where we miss the other midfielders who are out injured. But I feel we need to get into the hanging on stage because at this point here, 75 minutes is where we normally start to concede. So, Danilo Jose will come on for Watts. He'll go into the right back role. And I'm going to put striker the right side of a back three. And then Hanifan can be ball playing defender on cover. In fact, who's the best physically for that? Maya, not the best anticipation or pace. Hanifan, a bit better. Striker, a lot better. So striker is going in the middle of the three. That is going to be our tactic for the next 15 minutes. And with McNeil there, it's almost like having a second striker anyway. So we'll see how it pans out. We're conducting a tactical experiment live in a long-term story. If this works, I'll train it for next season and we might change to it during games. But with 2 minutes to go, it's Leeds on the front foot. And it might be that no matter what we try, we're just going to get the same outcome because we've not got a fit side. That one hits the post. We've got away with it, to be honest. And I don't think we can say it's working based on that. As Ndu comes away, that is sublime. You can hear me applauding. My word, that's brilliant play. Carries the ball half the pitch, gets fouled, and gets the yellow card off the opposition. We win! It worked! You're going to see a lot more of that next season. Forget the time wasting. Forget the slowing it down. Chuck 6 men at the back and see what happens. 2-1 we win on the final day. And you know what? That puts pressure on next year because second season syndrome has not occurred. Not only that, we are very comfortable. What I want to know is, have we edged up another position? We have. We've gone above Sheffield United into 14th. Don't forget, for a club that can't bring in much gate revenue, that's an extra £1 million in the bank. Really important result. Really important moment. We're only 3 points off the top half. And while that's very exciting, the most important bit is that we're 15 points clear of Aston Villa in 18th. Relegation, nowhere near. And Villa, a big side out of the league. Well, the injury news for Flores is 5 weeks, for Cordes 3 weeks. At least it's not going to affect pre-season. McNeil was brilliant when he came on as the number 10. And we get 13.5 million for finishing mid-table. But that doesn't matter, does it? It is a big summer ahead for us, but if you did enjoy this season, a really respectable finish and 5 unbeaten at the end of the season surely gives us momentum for next year, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. We had a transfer special in the head coach yesterday. Deadline day will be here tomorrow. There's links in the eye above to the football podcast and the Twitch channel too. End of season review in 2 days time, then transfer window special and deadline day for the rest of the week in this save. It's going to be an absolute humdinger of a week over here. I hope you'll come and join me for it. But above my head now is yesterday's head coach transfer special. Enjoy that in the meantime. I'll see you here again soon. Thanks for watching.